So basically it depends a little bit on what kind of your goals are, whether it's to edit invoices in terms of changing time entries or fee entries, or if you're just looking for a report on it, or kind of what. So I'll show you a few different kind of options. The first one is if you're looking at what WIP calls a draft invoice, or what was a pre-bill in PC law, to edit it or make changes to it. The easiest way to make changes to it is in under general accounting. You have your your invoices that have been sent, and then the draft ones which are grayed out. If you go to click on it, this is where you can see all the information like the balance due, the date, the invoice, a memo. Status is going to be in draft unapproved or draft approved once it's ready to be kind of finalized. Where you can look at like, okay, here's all your professional fees. So all your time entries and fees will show up under here, and then your disbursements will show up here. So maybe you want to change the name of it, you can easily click and change the name. If you want to change like the hours or the rate or anything like that, if you just double click, it'll pop up right here, and then you can make whatever changes to it you want. I'm just making kind of changes at random. You can change the date. You can also change the description here. And then you could also add new time entries, add new fee entries, add new disbursements here if you realize something was missing. Similarly, you can kind of see your disbursements and you can rename them, or you can also kind of double click them to change them. Oh, that's the header here. Here's the actual line item. You could probably change under properties, I think. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to change that one. Courier, same thing. So if you want to change basically what's going to show up on the invoice, you can do it here. If you wanted to change like the format of the invoice for some reason, you would either change the template, or you can print the draft invoice. And if you have a PDF editor, you can edit it there to send to the client. The only thing is if you change like the amounts or the time or anything like that, it will not obviously reflect back into LEAP. Choose. I know you guys are in Ontario, but I think this one had PST on it, so I will choose this one. But the same kind of process is where it'll print in a PDF to view the invoice as it kind of looks, how it'll be sent to the client. I guess this one you're doing training letterhead goes here, but you can see like you could use your Acrobat editor to edit the PDF in here as well. So that's kind of the second way that you can see an invoice and potentially make changes to it. Primarily, we recommend making the actual changes here, but if you want to just preview it as as it's going to look for the client, you can print it first. The other thing that we have is the billing guide for the matter. So that is going to also show the browser tab here. Matter billing guide. So we have billed to date, disbursements and fees. If there was any unbilled work in progress that hasn't had a draft invoice for it yet, you would see it right here because I just created that draft invoice. It's already under the build. But you can see here the total amount, as well as kind of the more detailed breakdown for everything. So that's kind of another option for you. If he wants to see a whole bunch, like all of his draft invoices at once, the place to do that is under Menu, Accounting, and then change invoice status. Or if you have created invoices and assigned them to him, he can also see assigned invoices to review as a separate section. So here's where I'm going to, I may not actually have a list of assigned ones in here that are drafted unapproved. Okay, here's a bunch that I assigned to Halen though. So he could actually see all of his draft invoices that are draft unapproved, and see the total amount. And then if he wanted to review them, what he could do would just be to double click on the invoice and look at it. Oh, this one that has restricted access for me, but I know I don't have restricted access on this one, so let's see it. So he can go into the invoice one by one and kind of look at them all and make changes here, which is how a lot of firms run it. Is they create the invoice, as draft unapproved, and under here they assign it to the lawyer to review. The lawyer goes to the assigned invoices section, sees all their draft invoices, and then one by one they can kind of review them and set set the status as they're in there to draft approved, so that they're ready to go. So that's kind of the second way of looking at invoices, and then I will kind of show you the last way. So the last way would be under reports, and this I'm just going to pause it while it opens in a tab because it takes a second to load. So depending on what he's looking for, there's quite a few reports here. So this would probably be like the aged work in progress report, which would just be time and fee entries. There's also the aged work in progress and expenses report that would also have disbursements. You can also print and kind of view any invoices here. The matter billing guides and summary are kind of like the one that I showed you for when you click the billing guides. It's just that you can see them for multiple matters. Yeah, I will show you what this report looks like. So you can see as of a certain date, you can select what you wanted to show. You can also, select by matter status. You can filter by staff, reporting groups, things like that, whether or not you want the amounts to include tax. And then for each of these, I can see all of the matters with a work in progress. And then if we expand each one of them, you can kind of see what those items are. So here's another example. You can expand the fees and the disbursements here. So you can see like the parking, the text description, discovery with witnesses. I think this is one we were actually looking at. You can see all the information for it if you wanted to see all the matters in one place. So those are kind of the different ways of